I really loved this attempt right here, but they came up short. And this attempt right here seemed like cheating, but can I do better than both of them? Or either of them? I guess we'll find out next. Welcome to the Sports Zoo. Zoo Crew, welcome back for this special edition of the Sports Zoo, where I take on Dr. O'Kay's Ride Every Ride Challenge at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. Well, for inspiration, we used those two videos you just saw, one from allears.net in which Frybucket first attempted to ride every single ride at Walt Disney World in one day, and she came up just a little bit short, just 4 rides short that day. And then several months later, we had the Mammoth Club trying a 24-hour challenge. So they started in the middle of day 1 and then ended in the middle of the day 2. Now, those two did finish successfully, but that felt like cheating to me almost, with having, the ability to sleep and whatnot, and even more importantly, have the ability to have 4 Lightning Lane single passes instead of 2 that you only get in one 24-hour period in one actual day. So nonetheless, we were trying the first challenge that Fry did, and well, let's see if we could do any better than she did. So let's go right to the tape. Zoo Crew, it is about 10 till 7 on Wednesday, August 28th. We've got to wake up extra early for us here today because, well, in a couple minutes, I've got to make my selections for Lightning Lane Multipass for Disney World next week, because I am accepting the Doc's challenge from a week or so ago after he rode Guardians of the Galaxy. So here I am. I've got my hotel reservation set. Got a deluxe resort just so I can get 2 extra hours at the end of the day, because I will try to ride every single ride in one day at Disney. So here's what we know about Lightning Lane Multipass. They just changed it about a month or so ago from Genie Plus, so that is gone. You've got your 2 tiers now for rides. You can only make 1 selection from tier 1, and you make 2 from tier 2. And so our goal today is that we want to pick Tiana's Bayou Adventure as our tier 1 selection at Magic Kingdom. So we actually have a reservation for Animal Kingdom, but we are not going to use any lightning lanes at Animal Kingdom. Instead, we're going to use them all at Magic Kingdom to start. And then we will hop over to the third park of Hollywood Studios, where it's really going to kick in for us. So we had to decide if we want to just go with Hollywood Studios first for the lightning lanes. But Tiana is a big pain in the butt for us because it is a tier 1 ride. It is the newest ride, so it's got the highest demand. It breaks down a lot, and it still uses a virtual queue instead of a standby line. So I can't even take the chance to get in line at the end of the day. Then on top of it, it does not have Lightning Lane Single Pass, which would be nice because every other ride that has virtual queue, which admittedly is only Tron and Guardians, they have Single Pass. But lastly, it is not a part of extended hours. So I can't even do it in those last 2 extra hours that I get. So we're really restricted on Tiana, so we've got to hop in and try to get that in the morning. So we'll see how we do, and then we'll be back. All right. See you on the flip side. Wow, I looked awfully tired there at 7 in the morning, didn't I? So what we're going to do is I'm just going to come in and out during this video. You're going to see me roll the film, essentially, of my day at Walt Disney World to see how I did. And there'll be several cutaways from this where I'm just going to add in some ideas of what I was thinking, or maybe some helpful tips along the way of things to do or not to do along your way if you want to try the same challenge. And hopefully then you can join in the fun as well. And then I'm also going to show several screen recordings from my phone where you have to use the Disney World app in order to make your selections for lightning lane, multi-pass, and single pass selections. So that's what we'll start off here next. This is what I did right after I had just woken up that morning. So let's roll the tape. Okay, so what we're doing here is that you can see these are the dollars per lightning lane, multi-pass, and single pass for a whole bunch of days. Now in the Disney World app, you get to see the calendar over about a month's worth of time, essentially. So what you want to look for here is when the prices are the cheapest, because you know Disney World is setting the prices based on what they think the park capacity will be for that day. So if the more people are coming, the higher the price is going to be. So you can see right here, $20 for the Magic Kingdom on Wednesday, September 4th. And indeed, that proved to be the very cheapest of any day on the entire schedule over several weeks worth of time. So I said to myself, if I'm going to try this challenge, I better try on the least busy day at all. So prices varied between $23 to $25 to $27 on every other day on the calendar, but for Magic Kingdom, that one day was just $20. Now for the other parks, it's usually a little cheaper, so you can get away with it a little bit more if you want to start at another park. So the good thing with the new system is that you can start at Animal Kingdom, use one Lightning Lane multi-pass, and you can save yourself a good $5 to $8 perhaps, because the price doesn't change. Once you use the Lightning Lane multi-pass for one, you've set your price, so it's much cheaper for that one. So you can see here that one particular day could be $16 at Animal Kingdom and then $23 at Magic Kingdom, so you've just saved yourself $7 per person for your family, so that can really add up. All right, so nonetheless, let's go into day 2 here. You can see here, I am just signing in right at 7 o'clock. I used the World Clock application, so you have to log in right at 7 o'clock to try to get the best times. You can see that the choices here are broken into Tier 1 and Tier 2, and so Tier 1 has Tiana's Bayou Adventure. It is obviously the newest ride. It has the most problems in it, so we wanted to get that, and well, unfortunately for us, we got a really bad time here. I could not believe that even though I was a resort guest, I still was not able to get a time better than 8:25 p.m. That was really not what we were looking for Tiana. Nonetheless, we had to get it. We had to take care of it, so we got that, and we also got Pirates of the Caribbean and the Haunted Mansion because we believe those were the two best Tier 2 attractions. But that said, we're going to go back to this. You're going to see in the next video that I'm going to go back and alter my selections. But at the same time here, I also had to get my 2 Lightning Lane single pass selections here. So I had decided that I was going to go to Hollywood Studios second, and then Epcot third, and then Magic Kingdom would be last in the day. So I wanted to go for Guardians of the Galaxy, which has a virtual queue, but I wasn't going to be there for the 1 o'clock virtual queue. Plus, the virtual queue is pretty long, so I didn't want to go that route. So I just wanted to use my first Lightning Lane single pass on that, then the second one for Tron, because I wasn't planning on being at the Magic Kingdom for either of the 2 regular drops at 7 o'clock in the morning and then 1 o'clock in the afternoon. For 7, I had to have a park reservation for Magic Kingdom, which I did not, because we're going to go to Animal Kingdom, as you'll see. But then later, you're going to see as well that I wasn't going to be in Magic Kingdom for 1 o'clock either. At least that was the plan. Well, nonetheless, so that was our original plan. Now here in this next part here, you can see I'm now altering the time. I kept checking back every single day, a couple times per day, and finally about 3 or 4 days out, I found an 11:25 a.m. spot for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So I modified into Tiana at 11:25, but the system would not let me alter it originally because they wouldn't let me overlap with my original time for Pirates of the Caribbean. So I had to risk it and get rid of the Pirates one and just have nothing and hope that I could come back in, go to Tiana again as soon as possible and get it to switch to that 11:25. Fortunately, it was still there, so I got Tiana at 11:25, then I switched out of the others and I was able to move into Tomorrowland Speedway at, I think it was 10:10. Yes, 10:10 for Tomorrowland Speedway, because that was about the time that I was hoping to get into Magic Kingdom, and I would use my first Lightning Lane multi-pass there, and from there I could modify all I wanted there on out and go to any park to try to get hopefully the better rides. So you can see right here, we have Pirates of the Caribbean. We're messing with it. It's coming up, modifying the experience. So I'm looking around to see if I can find any better. And what I ended up doing here was I ended up just putting it on for Winnie the Pooh at something after 1 o'clock, I think. But I knew I wasn't even going to use that. So it was really just a placeholder. I was going to modify that immediately as soon as I used the Tomorrowland Speedway one. So this 145 reservation that you're seeing right here was really good for nothing. But since you get 3, I just locked it in just to get something, and it was out of the way from any other time in case I saw some other time that I liked even better. So right now, really, we just had Tomorrowland Speedway for 10:10, and then Tiana's Bayou Adventure at 11:25. So that was our plan for Magic Kingdom, because as we'll see here in a little bit, you need to go back to Magic Kingdom really early in the morning because there are a few rides that have some limited hours. So that was really the plan. So we have to get into Magic Kingdom in the morning. But there were a couple other things I could have done, but being this was my first attempt and I didn't do a whole lot of research, I pretty much only watched those 2 videos, that this was really the best we could do. Well, nonetheless, with that, let's go into the video. All right, it's 4:53 in the morning, but if we want to make it to the Animal Kingdom for about 7 a.m., we've got to get in the shower and then get on the ride. So I'll see you there. All right, we are in line about 10 after 7. Got here a little before 7, had to make a pit stop though. So we'll see. We're about half dozen or so people there. So we're on the far left as well. So we should be able to get there as soon as possible. We'll see. All right, that was 1 tap in. Now we're ready for the second one. And we're off. All the people already lining up. Okay, so we were walking into Flight of Passage. We did really well here. Now, the funny thing is, there were somehow a lot of other people that were trying this. So I got their names. So fortunately, when we're walking in here, the one guy has a shirt on that kind of tells us what he's doing. He's trying a Ride Every Ride challenge as well. So fortunately, he had a couple links on his shirt, so I will later take a video of that. So after I got back, part of the follow-up research was actually exploring what these other folks did. So the man in the yellow shirt, his name is Keith Callahan, and his Twitter handle, or X handle, I guess, is @eTicketsElites. Sorry, @eTicketElites. @eTicketElites. So he and his daughter, Natalie, they attempted the same challenge essentially as me, and so I will tell you that they came up just a bit short. They got 49 out of 52 rides. So a really good effort. They said that was their first time as well. You'll see I'm going to catch up to them a little bit later. I'm not going to interview them or anything on camera, but I did talk to them a little bit while we were on another ride. So we'll see that here in a little bit. Now we have some other guys that are apparently veterans of this challenge and are some of the best of all time who also thought this was the perfect day to do that. So that's what we're going to look at here. So just in front of me, this gentleman with the navy blue shirt on, his name is Matt and his X handle is @Stouty1. So he attempted the Every Ride challenge as well, but his particular challenge, he did not include 2 rides, Tom Sawyer's Island, or Main Street Vehicles, so he only had 50 rides that he was trying to complete. He ended up getting 49 out of 50, and there will be a good reason why he didn't get the last one. We'll talk about that later. The gentleman right in front of me in the red shirt right there, his name is Rich Hurt, and his X handle is @RichHurt, one word there. And he is also a veteran of this, and in fact, he completed his challenge. Now, he also only did 51 rides. He did not include Tom Sawyer's Island on his challenge either, but he was successful. He was able to complete it, so we'll come back and talk about him a little bit later. The very first person in line, His name is Kenny. His X handle is at the Pirate Kenny. I think he is the GOAT of this challenge, apparently, because we'll talk about it a little later on everyridechallenge.com. He has apparently completed this and some other challenges several times, so he's probably the best. But that said, he ran into the same problem that Matt ran into as well, so he only completed 50 out of 51 rides. He did do the Main Street vehicles, but he also did not include Tom Sawyer Island on his challenge. So nonetheless, it was a tough day to get them all done, so you'll see how I did here. But nonetheless, even with that $20 price tag, it was no surefire way to complete this challenge. So only 1 out of those 4 people completed their challenge. So nonetheless, we'll circle back around to them later, and let's get back to the tape for Flight of Passage and ride number 1.
All right, going to the ramp at 7:35, so I guess it took 6 minutes to walk through the queue. I'm stopping, but just a note, I am the 6th overall person in line, so not too bad. Should be the first minute. All right, we're off the ride at 7:50. We're gonna head right on over to Knob River Journey. We're gonna get a walk. Yeah, the gift shop. We're heading over to Knob River Journey. Just wanted to give Flight of Passage an A here. It is, as always, amazing. A much better version of Soarin'. And the line is already about 40 minutes here. But we're not going to see that much. Also, want to note there is some other group is doing some Ride Every Ride challenge today. Never heard of them. Had nothing to do with them. Only 40. So good luck to all of them. Apparently it's for a good cause, so good luck. If I can find more info on them later, I will be happy to share that. But for now, for what? We are getting right up to 5-year over journey. Huh, so it's 10 minutes. I thought we were going to get 5. We're locking in. 7:53. Wait, we'll have 10 minutes. It's not actually 10 minutes.
Dentro del mercado puede ser
7:55. So 2-minute long. Very good. All right. Well, you can't see me, I guess, but nonetheless, I'm on a boat all by myself here. So just wanted to get her to bed. Oh, nice.
So obviously I'm not going to use the official music here from Disney. I don't know if they would copyright it, probably not, but not taking any chances.
Okay, we are off that ride. It is 8:02. We're off to the safari. So if you like a beautiful, slow-moving boat ride, that ride is for you. It is not so much for me. So I will give that a C+, just because it is very pretty to look at. But oh well, off to more adventures. Here we go, 2 down. We made it to Kilimanjaro Safaris. Queue. Standby entrance listed as 15. So we'll see. Let's hope it's less than that. It is 8:18. We had a couple minute wait for truck to come, but I guess here we are. Just missed the last one. That one's letting me going without us. Great. Alright, this one stopped. It was only 1 extra minute. Hey everyone, welcome. So welcome aboard. Oh, sorry about that.
Okay, as we see the beautiful animals here on the safari, I want to quickly note, you can see in each corner of the screen we have a different thing that we're going to track. You can see I have a 1 minute wasted there because they had that safari vehicle go through with no one on it. So that was unfortunate for us. And also unfortunate we didn't see Cora the elephant on the safari. So nonetheless, already down a minute that I thought we would have had, but it'll get worse. Don't worry.
Hands are hands actually like to the side. Back open. I hope you learned.
Always amazing. It would have been nice to see Baby Cora, but no luck today. Tradition of Empress. This is our first line that has a single rider. So we will hope that it's open. It is. Look at that. That definitely helps a lot. So I bet you I'm right. Hey, Trey. Hi there. Yep. 17. 17. You got it. Thank you. All right. Now ready to go.
All right, you gotta love a good single rider line. There aren't very many at Disney World, and some of them are not so good that we'll talk about later, but this one is. It got us on really quickly on the very next ride.
All right, we're off at 8:52. And now it is time to head to Dino Land at USA, that is. You gotta take a chance here. Do we want to do Dino Land or we want to wait a couple minutes for Cali River Rapids? We're gonna chance Cali River Rapids though. A line that quickly, so fingers crossed here. That could be the one thing that messes us up. We're getting on Triceratops spin at 8:50. So, hey, here we are on Triceratops spin. Triceratops flying. Okay, we are off at 8:59, which is a little later than I had hoped, but just gonna have to hope Cali River Rapids doesn't have a line because we still have to do Dino. We still have to do Dinosaur first, so that'll be fun. Walk into Dinosaur here. If you haven't heard, Dino Land USA will be going away very soon. So perhaps this will be the last time I get to ride it. You can see we're going to have another walk on. This is another just 5 minutes. So here we go. Standby entrance right at 9 o'clock.
Your hands are seat legs inside the toilet rubber, and please watch it.
We have to wait a little bit longer. Off of that resort line there. We are immediately heading over to Cali River Rapids. Cali River Rapids. This is 5 minutes. It is 9:15. Getting on the raft at 9:19. Officially off at Saddle 26. It's gonna take a lot of luck to make the very first train for Rafiki. So we'll see. We're gonna go as fast as we can, aka we're going fry speed. All right, here we are for Rafiki's Planet Watch. We have to take the train as soon as possible here. Hopefully it hasn't left yet. Oh, I missed this. We missed the first train, so we had to wait 10 minutes for the second one, so that's what we're doing now. I guess I forgot to give it some grades, so Triceratops spin, we're just going to give it a D-. Obviously, it's just another Dumbo ride, but just with Triceratops, so who cares? D-. Then we went to Dinosaur. I always think that's a good one. Nice and rough and tumble ride. Unfortunately, it will be gone soon now too, but I'm sure it'll be replaced with something even better. Nonetheless, I will give that one a B+. Why not? Then we were just on Cali River Rapid. It's pretty much the lamest river rapid ride around. Only one decent-sized drop, and you might not even get that wet. So I will give that a D+. And I may have missed Expedition Everest too. So let's just say I think it is a good coaster. I like going backwards. It's just that going uphill until you get to the top where you start to go backwards, it just is a strange beginning. I'd rather just have one straight up hill to begin rather than what we do, which is basically like false starts a couple times. So for that, it gets knocked down, but still one of the better coasters in Disney World. So I'll give it a B-. Probably a generous grade, but Disney coaster standard, B-. Finally getting on the train at 9:43. So guess we're gonna be chilling for a while, but nothing to do, unfortunately. This is definitely a time suck for sure. I can't believe that wasn't very smart. All right, what do I need to do?
This is the whistle button. You can press it twice.
All right. All right, that was fun. Thank you so much.
Good luck with your ride challenge.
Yes, thank you. Heading out. This was it for this part. I'll see you. Thank you. All right, 10:03. Here we go. Off to Magic Kingdom. Guess I should give this a grade. You're getting an F because you annoy me yet again. Ah, just missed by a minute or two. What a shame. Put us back at least 10 minutes. But now we've got to find a way to dig out of the hole. But we'll see how it goes. Off to the Magic Kingdom.
Okay, let's stop it right there. Oh, that was a killer right there, folks. That was a killer. As you can see, I added 20 minutes for wasted right there. We would have been off of the train at 9:43. Instead, we were off at 10:03. And considering we really wanted to get to the Magic Kingdom as soon as possible to ride Main Street vehicles, this was an immediate problem. And I have to say that looking back and going to these other guys here, we had both Kenny and Matt take different routes than me, but they were able to get there on time. So apparently my idea of trying to rope drop for Kilimanjaro safaris was not the right thing to do, because that, I guess, is what you go to immediately if you don't have the early entry. So maybe it builds up just a little bit and it doesn't start quite at 8 o'clock. So it just didn't work out the way I wanted it to there. So didn't get on until, what was it, 8:18, and we had that one vehicle go through. It just didn't work out. We had Kenny instead. He went to Dino Land USA next, and what he did was he got one Lightning Lane multi-pass for Dinosaur only. So that was how he first saved a couple bucks. Remember, you want to save those couple bucks where you can. So he saved a couple bucks there, and he just used one Lightning Lane multi-pass on Dinosaur. Then he immediately went in and used 3 Lightning Lane multi-pass selections for Magic Kingdom, which were Tiana at 10, Pirates at 10:30, and I think it was Aladdin at 11:15. I'm not exactly sure, but I think that's what it was. Nonetheless, that he was able to get Tiana at 10 a.m. is really amazing. It's like they had some sixth sense knowing that there would be some Tiana opening up early on in the day, and Matt did something similar in his route, except he didn't go to Dino Land. He went straight to Expedition Everest and then went to Dino Land, then to Cali River Rapids, and then over to the safari, and then right back over. So I think my way just had more steps to it, because I tried to knock out the third biggest ride, where they knocked out the easier rides right away, and I guess it didn't cost them because the safari right at that point didn't have the wait that it did when I got in. So surprising to me there, and it cost me. Those two got on the train, I did not. So they were still really in the running where I was already way behind schedule. So that was 20 minutes waste, and you can see in the lower right I have wins and losses that I'm going to count. Anytime that there's a significant delay like that, that's going to go as a loss. Or anytime where it looks like I saved a bunch of time, that's going to go as a win. So we'll count those up as we go along. So this was a one big loss, and it put us way behind. So we were already in the hole. I already knew it was big trouble. So we'll see what I can do here to try to claw back, but maybe the damage was already done. But let's get back to the action.
We are on the tram to go to the monorail. 10:23. Way behind now. The monorail at 10:42. Oh boy, here we go. Let's see what happens. We are in at 10:43. Just touched it in. Let's see what we can do here. We can just tap in for Tomorrowland Speedway at 10:49. We're going to start modifying. Here we go. Finally, we go. All right, we're off on the Tomorrowland Speedway at 10:58, and we've been bumping all around because, well, we're a terrible driver off. Here we go. Waiting to get off of my car, so let's just give it a grade now. We're going to give it a D-. I don't know how Tomorrowland has these very old school cars in them, and obviously you're out in the hot sun with no shade, so that's no fun either. So I think it's time for these to go. I'm glad. D-. We're going to make our way over to Top Sawyer Island next, and now it should be open. Just going to take the train now, since we've got to get that in, and that will fit us 2 stops over there. just missed that train, so I got sick of waiting, so we're gonna walk there. I do not want to miss the 11:30 Liberty Bell Riverbend, so that's the number one goal here. Okay.
Country Bear Jamboree. That's like a show.
Coming to the Liberty Square Riverboat. So 11:18, they just finished their first lap. We'll get on the next one. It's gonna take a while, but we don't want to wait another extra half hour for the next. Gotta do this one just because we have to. The riverboat is currently broken, so we've got to change plans yet again. Hopefully it gets up and running very quickly, or else we're in big trouble for the day. So we're gonna do Tiana now because we had time at 11:25, so it's starting up. And then we'll do Tom Sawyer, and then let's hope it's open by then.
Oh boy. Did the losses and the wasted time really pile up there? Not only was I not patient enough to just wait for the train because I really wanted to get that 11:30 riverboat. So the riverboat typically takes off around the half hour. I think it takes about 20 minutes to do its lap, and so then you have to unload, and then you start to load again, so that gets you the 10 extra minutes, and then it goes around again in the half hour. So I didn't want to miss it because that takes a lot of time up. So I didn't know if it would get me way behind if I didn't get that one as soon as possible. So I tried to rush it. I knew I wanted to get the train, but things were just not going my way. Up to 4 losses already after that. That was a quick number of losses. So in addition to not taking the train where I just should have, because obviously the boat was broken, and then the boat being broken, which I didn't realize for several minutes because the lady at the front did not say that the boat was broken, because it had just gone around once and was sitting there like you were about ready to, go into it. So that was painful. Then, of course, on top of that, let's go back to the Main Street vehicles. So when I walked into the park before going to Tomorrowland Speedway, I made the direct shot there, but the Dapper Dans were performing on the Main Street vehicles. So there were a bunch of cast members around. So I asked them, are the Main Street vehicles going to work at any time after this show so I could get on them? And I would wait for them just for this challenge's purposes. But they said no, they were not going to go around again. So I figured it was already over for me. So I kind of said, well, we're going to do this without Main Street vehicles. Maybe it will count. And sure enough, every ride challenge would allow you to complete the challenge without doing the Main Street vehicle. So I didn't need to do it under their rules. But I didn't even know that because I didn't know this other thing existed. I was simply going by what Frybucket did on allyears.net that included it, and then Mammoth Club included it as well. So I just thought that was what you needed to do. Because Kenny, who took a totally different route, he did not do the Main Street vehicles until, get this, 11:53 a.m. So obviously, the cast member did not tell me the truth. So generally the Main Street vehicles don't really have a set schedule, but they don't operate around the time a show is starting. So it's in operation with the Dapper Dans, and then the shows at the castle, they're not going to run during those as well. So you only have really limited time to get in the Main Street vehicles. So I just kind of gave up, but you're going to see me take the railroad here in a little bit, and I just was kind of shooting in the dark, hoping that going the direct route from where I got off in Fantasyland, making a beeline to the front of the park, instead of taking a final lap from the Fantasyland stop to the Main Street USA stop, that there was maybe some chance that the Main Street vehicles would be out and I could take it on my way out of the park. But it was just too late at that point. But nonetheless, I digress. Let's get back to the action and let's go to our newest ride at Tiana's.
Alright, it is 11:06, so we're gonna modify right now into something in Hollywood Studio.
Okay, so I finally got into Tiana's here. What I'm gonna do is show my screenshot every time we do one of these. So here we're going to start looking at Hollywood Studios next, because that's where I wanted to go, because I know they have harder Lightning Lane multi-passes to get than Epcot for the most part, except for Remy and except for Frozen. So I really was going to start trying to get those. So you can see here I am getting Rock and Roller Coaster right here, right off the bat for my first one. And then since I have two here, remember I had used Tomorrowland Speedway, so I got one there. So then I'm now getting a second one, which I think I was getting for Tower of Terror to be my second one. Yep, there it is. So you can see I got both Rock and Roller Coaster and the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror in very close succession, so I wouldn't have to waste any time just going into the park and going right to those.
Oh,
Well, that was amusing, right? I thought I was just going to get onto that ride with that young lady, but I guess she had other thoughts that I was not supposed to get on with her. So that wasted a nice 2 minutes there. Every little bit counts, but yeah. Nonetheless, there was the big drop for Tiana, and we barely got wet at all, which I'm going to comment on here very shortly, but nonetheless, new ride, really fun, good ride. Do miss Splash Mountain, but let's see my grade here right now.
Okay, we are up at 11:50. So it's good. We will give it a B plus. They did a good job with the ride. Not enough splash though. And I don't mean splash mountain. I mean that we barely got hit with any water at all. So definitely gets a negative for that. And also just not operating smoothly as it should. Just a bunch of delays more than needed, but all in all, very good ride. B plus. All right, we'll see what we can do with the riverbed. All right, take two back. Hello, back. Here we go. All right, looks like we made it through whatever this next one will be. Hopefully it leaves very soon. But we will see. All right, there we go. Just making a nice little lap here. Want to get old Joe here in his dog.
So there you can see I caught up to Keith and Natalie right there, and that's where I talked to them, and that's where I finally got some information.
All right, 2:19. We are going over to Tom Sawyer right now. See what we can do. Hopefully get off that right away. But we'll see. Tom Sawyer's Riverboat is 12:24. Let's see how long this takes. We made it. It's 12:28. We're gonna have a great. Okay, we're gonna show you the entire trip here. We're just gonna film the whole thing. It's gonna be really exciting. And there it is. We're getting right back on. Right, I guess I didn't give a grade for the riverboat. Give it a D, just because it's slow and takes a long time. Now apparently I'm stuck by it again because we have to wait for it to go past before we can leave Tom Sawyer Island. And I'll give Tom Sawyer Island a, well, I'll give just that a D as well. Just didn't do anything. I know it's a fun little time. Walk around, do some stuff, but not today. Right, we are off at 12:39. We're going to get on the railroad. All right, we're going through the railroad entrance. 12:41, obviously, in the Frontierland station. Hopefully it doesn't take so long this time. I'm off the train at 12:55. I'm taking the educated guess that walking through the park is going to be faster than going one more leg of this trip. Just a guess, but hopefully I'm right for a change.
So just quickly there on the railroad, not much to do. As you see, I'm going to get off here in Fantasyland, and I'm going to the front of the park, and I'm going to leave. So very exciting there.
We will be back later. It is... It's this 13. Obviously, it's 102. All right, we've got to get booking here to Hollywood Studios as fast as we can.
All right, I'm on the monorail now. Not very exciting.
Okay, we're off the monorail. 109. We're gonna get in the car somehow and get over to Hollywood Studios. All right, you just tapped in. It is 1:33. 1:33. Off to Rock and Roller Coaster. All right, here we go. Rock and Roller Coaster.
All right, so as we look here at our lightning lane selection, now we're going to try to continue to get more at Hollywood Studios the best we can. Our goal continues to be to look for Slinky Dog Dash, but we've not had any luck there yet. And unfortunately, spoiler alert, we're not going to get any luck. While those other experts at the ride challenge are somehow going to find a way to get everything to work out, well, I'm not going to. So we knew there was going to be a chance that we were going to have to wait in line for a few lines, so Slinky was definitely one that we thought we might have to, and sure enough we would, so we'll take what we can get here. But while we're just waiting here for a moment, let's take a moment. I want to talk about travel time. So that very first trip from Animal Kingdom to the Magic Kingdom. So what I did for travel time, it was 40 minutes for the first trip. So I counted it from when I got off the last ride, which was the Wildlife Express train, until I tapped into the Magic Kingdom with the Magic Band. So I know it's a little funky, not exactly the right way to do it, as you might say, but you know, walking out of the park, there's not really a marker to say when you're out of the park. You don't have to tap out of the park. So I figured you're really traveling as soon as you get off of the last ride. So that's just how I calculated it. So it took 40 minutes to get from Animal Kingdom to the Magic Kingdom, and now another 38 minutes to get from the Magic Kingdom from the time I got off of the train. And so I started counting as soon as I got off and started walking to the park exit all the way through Cinderella's Castle and down Main Street, USA. But that took up some time, and then to get into Hollywood Studios where I tapped in, that was 38 minutes that you just saw. So I guess let's get back to it. Rock and Roller Coaster, this is one that has a single rider line, but it is notoriously the worst single rider line. And in fact, a lot of people will tell you, even if you are just a single rider, get in the regular standby line because you're going to take just as long, and if you don't get lucky, longer by taking the single rider line. So for us and for all of the experts that we were unintentionally following, they did the same thing. They all got Lightning Lane multi-passes for Rock and Roller Coaster. So absolutely do that if you can. Use your Lightning Lane multi-pass. If not, I guess just use the standby line. Okay, let's get back to it.
So here's now we're on the way or going. Yeah. All right. So inside 152. 150 is on the floor. All right, out at 155. That took us a little while to get the phone out. We're on the Tower of Terror next. All right, so as we make our way to Tower of Terror, we have to give that one an A. It's just a good classic coaster. Gotta like going upside down. Don't like it being inside. Every Disney ride has to be inside, but other than that, it's just a good standard coaster that actually goes upside down, which is the only one that you get that in for Disney. So we'll give it an A.
All right, as we tap in here to Tower of Terror, note that there are 2 tap points for Tower of Terror and a couple other rides, so you can't do your next Lightning Lane multi-pass until you get through that second one. Very important to know, but it just slows you down a minute or so.
The second tap was at 2 o'clock. So we gotta try and get our next Lightning.
All right, we're on Tower of Terror here, obviously. You're gonna get to see a little bit of this. I don't have any sound going on, so here I wanted to say Not a whole lot. It's a lot of fun on this ride, but still, we're still working our way through. We got Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and we also got Toy Story Mania at this point, but still no luck with Slinky Dog Dash. So we're in a world of hurt here. We didn't want to have to ride every ride standby, but our goal here was to get at least 1 out of 3 rides to get lucky, as I saw it, with a Lightning Lane multi-pass between Slinky Dog Dash and then either Frozen or Remy's at Epcot. So we'll see if I can get any of those, but like I said, I was not able to do it for Slinky, so we're gonna have some issues here. Once we get off of this ride with Tower of Terror, you're going to see what I mean.
Alright, we are officially off the Tower of Terror at 2:12. That was a pretty good one. I'm very happy with it. Of course, they get to 8. It means we're on the problem. And if we're like going up and down many times compared to the other route, they only do it one time, or this is the one for you. So, great line, gets an 8. Now let's go to Alien Swirling Saucers, which we just got when we tapped in twice. Florida, so that means it's time for the afternoon rain. Skies are opening up, but we're just going to keep trucking. Hopefully, Alien Swirling Saucers won't close down. If we're lucky, it'll be fast, and Slinky Dog Dash will close and then reopen once we get off of Slinky, or once we get off of Alien Swirling Saucers. So I know that's a tough ask, but we'll see. You never know. We need some luck today.
That's like.
All right, we just got in 1 minute early. We get 5, but we're in at 2:19 for 2:20. So time to find a new.
So as we look here, I'm going to get Winnie the Pooh at Magic Kingdom here because we couldn't get anything here, or we weren't so worried about Epcot because we couldn't find Remy or Frozen. So let's pause here for a moment. So that is really important to note here. So it just didn't matter. So what we were doing was skipping ahead 2 parks, getting the most popular ones remaining at Magic Kingdom to try to hit at the end of the day before we got to the extended evening hours. But that said, anything at Magic Kingdom that we got now, we were still going to make that one the absolute one to modify if we could. So Winnie the Pooh was what we had set every time we went to try to modify, that we were hoping still for this one right here with Slinky in case we happened to get in the standby line but popped up magically a Lightning Lane, but that didn't happen. Or if we could find one for either Frozen or Remy, and we'll just keep trying there, but let's get back to this.
You're exiting at 2:31. I just ordered food from Woody. So I've not been there before, so we'll see how it is, but we'll just take it in line for Slinky, because I assume 55 minutes is as light as it's ever gonna get. We'll see. He dog dashing going in the rain, so we're gonna do it. It's 2:33. Never done standby before, but I don't think we're gonna get lucky. But keep trying. Stuck because there is lightning in the area, so who knows how long this will take. I don't think it looks bad on the radar, but so it's fast. This is not good. We really don't need this. I know I was taking a chance getting in line in the rain, but it actually looked better, so it's a little surprising. We'll see.
Okay, so you can see I'm just dinking around here, seeing if I can modify anything good, but I'm also getting nervous due to this rain. I don't know how long I'm going to be stuck here at Slinky Dog Dash. So, Toy Story Mania, I was ready to hop right into Toy Story Mania, but I was already about halfway through my half hour here, and I didn't want it to expire because I was still under the impression, under the old Genie Plus system, that once your hour was up, you only had a 15-minute grace period. But little did I know that as soon as I got back, I think just a few days later, that weekend, allears.net released a brand new video with some nice tips and tricks for the Lightning Lane system. that you now have 3 total hours to use your lightning lane multipasses. You have the 1 hour that is listed, so let's say you have it from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. You, of course, should use it during that hour, but instead of expiring at 4:15, it will not expire until 6 p.m. And I just didn't know that. I just didn't know that. They didn't have that video out yet. And then sure enough, guess what happened when I got back and researched these other guys with the ride challenge? You get it. You get it. Yep, they took full advantage of that a whole lot of times. In fact, let's see here. I have Rich down here. He got 20 total lightning lane multipasses, and he used 10 of them late after that 1 hour expired, 8 of which were beyond the 15-minute old grace period. So he took full advantage of it. And Kenny, he had 22 lightning lane multipasses, and he used 9 of them late, and 8 of which were beyond that 15-minute grace period. And 3 of them, he had less than 15 minutes left. And in fact, he got unfrozen with just 4 minutes left of that 3-hour period. He was 4 minutes away from totally missing Frozen, but he got it right under the gun and got into Frozen. So congrats to him. I'm amazed that these guys know the system. This just happened at the end of July that they switched from Genie Plus into this new Lightning Lane multipass system. So wow, good for them. These guys did their research. They knew what they were doing way more than I did. So I panicked here. I panicked. You're going to see that I am going to modify my Toy Story Mania to later out of this 3 o'clock time to 5:25. So that kind of messes up my whole strategy. So, well, let's see how that plays out for us.
My lightning lane for Story Mania. 5:25. And then 30 seconds later, they started test running Slinky Dog. So we're back up and running, and I wasted a good time that I had. Just one of those days. But we'll just readjust and then figure it out. Star Wars is coming up next now. It is 3:32. Off of that at 3:36. And we will be off to Batu. Okay. Can't beat 20 minutes, right?
You can have 5 minutes.
Oh, that's true. That's true. All right, so Rise of the Resistance was closed, and while I was walking to the Millennium Falcon, well, it popped up, and it quickly switched from 50 minutes to 20 minutes. So I assume the 20 is the right one, because that's what we saw on the sign. So we got to do that first. For obvious reasons. We won't be that good at getting going.
Yes, finally a win for us. Finally a win. We desperately needed it. Not only did we get to see Rey there, but we also basically got a walk-on under Rise of the Resistance. So some really good luck there. It just cost us that nice wait at Slinky, but hey, it worked out.
Scary. Can we just got off of Rise and talked to the people that I was on the shuttle with, and they said I think about 75% of it was broken. I didn't know that much, but it was bad. I mean, there was nothing going on. There was no voices. Literally everything was broken. We didn't see Finn. Obviously, the second Kylo we didn't see. We did get a screen there. At least that was the only thing that worked. But that's obviously the B side. So, oh boy, that was an experience. But that's what I guess you get when they just try to hurry up and open it when it's been broken. So I still got it pretty much all broken. Any other day I might be upset, but today that actually worked out quite fine for me. So on to the next. Nonetheless, I guess for a grade, normally I would give this an A+, but today it gets like a D+. I don't know how you give it anything. Nothing worked. So wow. All right, so onto the Falcon. All right, standby is only 15 here, but that doesn't matter. We want a 0-minute wait. So we're gonna take the single rider anyway. We'll see. No.
This flight takes you to the planet Corel.
410, walking right on, and I have a whole ship to myself.
Trading shipment
Look
of
at that.
Croatia.
All right, so this one is the best single rider in all of Disney World. Always take single rider if you can. 0-8. I get on here all by myself. Amazing.
Now, sirs, multiple hull ruptures. Well, it could be worse. Lights are off. Time for you to go. Don't worry. Take it down the way. Trust me.
Just you?
Just me.
Just you? You're pretty good.
It would have been nice to have a second pilot.
Yeah, just maybe a little weird. But I'll take it. Still good. I like that. I like that they shot for me. That was nice. That was good.
This thing has seen better days. Better fix all that before the walk.
Strange place today. Got that whole ship to myself. We got 2 coaxium. I thought I did pretty well. I thought we were gonna get 3. We blew up that whole container though, so oh well. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not that good. But it helped that they were shooting for. Oh well, that was a lot of fun. Alright, on to Star Tours. Do the grade, so let's give it a grade. Today it gets an A+. Normally I give it an A, but A+ today. Totally the opposite of Rise of the Resistance, so let's do this quickly.
Alright, here we go. It's about 422. Let's see if it's just a walk on. 429. Now, 7 minutes. Alright. 422 we got in, so 14 total minutes, not too bad. A shot of BY there. There we go. Switched from a pod race on Tatooine with Sebulba in it, so he survived a long time apparently after episode 1. Because the second part we got Princess Leia, and then Boba Fett tried to get us, and Darth Vader as well chimed in, but we made it. How about that? R2 shot Boba's Sonic Blast. How about that? So that means we're off to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, back on the Lightning Lanes. All right, off to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. 35 minutes is the listed time.
Am I gonna get something?
To get the time, 4:39 on tap.
Okay, while this lightning lane's popping up for Haunted Mansion, I just want to note first that you may have saw me go in the standby line for Star Tours. I did have a lightning lane multi-pass, but they had the scanners covered up, so that didn't make sense. But when I got up a little bit further, there was a person there and they did scan me. It didn't make any difference in the time, so no big deal. Nonetheless, let's get back to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, the only ride featuring Mickey.
4:53, we are on.
All right, time for a little dance class with Daisy, but you can see they're obviously getting Haunted Mansion. Not great. That's our second Magic Kingdom ride already. We're holding out for the Epcot rides. Obviously, we still want Frozen and Remy. If not, we can get the little easy ones after our next ride.
And 5 o'clock. Look at that. Well, the next Lightning Lane, which is Toy Story Mania, doesn't start until 5:25. So we may just walk on for this one. All right, they told me that they thought the standby was short enough that it would be better than waiting for 5:20, 5:25. So we'll see.
What did the grape say when Rex stepped on it? Nothing. It just had a little walk.
All right, so verdict is going to 5:22. So probably about the same since you can go in 5 minutes early. Okay, we are up at 5:29. Finally get some food and get out of here and go on to Epcot. A little behind where we want to be, but not too terrible.
All right, so after Toy Story Mania, we didn't use that lightning lane, so we canceled it, and now we're going to just start picking up the really quick Epcot ones. No big deal, Spaceship Earth is going to be up first. Next time on the SportsZu. Can you believe that one? I am also going to be a disgrace to the Disney community.
5, 8 minutes of just this song. And I'm up in the post. See just how well